Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mr. Deathbreath, writing spoiler-free film reviews, sometimes celebrity interviews. Before we begin, please turn on post notifications. Please hit that bell where it says all notifications so you won't miss any of my videos. Please subscribe to my channel so you continue with my content, and please like so you can appreciate these videos. Guys, did you know it's the 45th year of Jaws? The film that launched Steven Spielberg's career. The film that made everyone afraid of the water. Yeah, that Jaws. So I decided to go and basically rank and review all the Jaws movies from the fantastic first film all the way to the fourth film. You know, so let's get into it. We have Jaws 3D. So, Jaws 3D, 1983. Let's get into the good. We do get Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid's a fantastic actor. He's great, he's been in tons of films. I really liked him in Vantage Point, just a great actor all around. Anyway, now let's get to the bad. Everything. So basically this whole movie is like a PSA for SeaWorld, which if you've seen Blackfish, SeaWorld? And basically, the general premise is that they have a shark attacking people, but everything's done in 3D. And it's one of those films where I don't really know what to say about it because the whole thing is just a dumpster fire. When you're watching this film, the premise seems really idiotic. The 3D feels really forced, very much that red and blue, you know, in your face, kind of coming at you like this kind of thing. And it just seems bad. Like, there's a point where I was watching this movie and I mentally checked out midway through. And when I came back to, you know, the 10 minutes after checking out, I was still on pace with what was happening. It just feels like trash. Like, some films have a premise, some films have some sort of thing that keeps you invested. Whether you're watching, you know, a Michael Bay movie, there might be a heart of the film. Maybe like the relationship with Sam Witwicky and his car Bumblebee in the first film. You tend to connect, right? Or maybe you put yourself in the shoes of Megan Fox, you feel a connection. But with Jaws 3D, it just felt like a meaningless, shameless cash grab that just went nowhere. The plot was awful. I mean, there's a point where there's an aquarium and they're using a fake shark. I'm 99% sure. Because it just looks like a model that you would find at, like, Aquarium of the Pacific. We have Jaws the Revenge. Okay, so number 3, because I can't put it closer to the second or first place. You know, unfortunately, we have to go by 1, 2, 3. But Jaws the Revenge, despite it getting so much backlash and hate, it's actually pretty entertaining. It stars Michael Caine. Michael Caine, you know who he is, I'm sure you do. He's been in The Dark Knight Rises, the whole Batman series with Christopher Nolan. He's basically worked with Christopher Nolan on countless things. He's just an incredible actor, very distinctive with his voice. So basically the film takes place that this great white shark is specifically attacking the Brody family. Brody being Chief Brody, played by Roy Schneider. You know, the we're gonna need a bigger boat, the sheriff. And it's actually really entertaining. It's not a great film by any means, but it definitely leans heavily into the, this is more of a horror movie than initially. Initially, you can argue that maybe it was a horror movie, maybe it wasn't, the first Jaws, but this one definitely is, because it's only targeting people in the Brody family. How does the shark know that? I don't know. Is it kind of stupid? Yeah. But is it entertaining? I actually really enjoyed it a lot, actually. I mean, I would have to say that if I were to rank it, I would have given it a ranking about, like, you know, 7 out of 10. Like, watch it, you're not going to feel like you lost time. You know, and especially when you compare it to Jaws 3D, which is just so awful, I'd say never see it, doesn't have to exist. I mean, I would literally say that you can skip Jaws 3D entirely and watch Jaws the Revenge, because it's a little silly, but it's well done. And I mean, come on, you know, we all watch silly movies, and it works. It's really well done, very enjoyable. It's kind of interesting that this particular shark, this great white, has it out for a particular bloodline, the Brodies, which I guess it makes sense, but it's also kind of weird, but it works. And there's some moments of intensity, specifically one scene on the boat with one of the sons when the shark's coming after him, and he has that realization of, oh, wow, like, it's after me, you know? And it just does well, and I think the shark looks a lot better in this film than all the films. Not counting Jaws 1, because you can't see him, haha. But he looks the best, and I think they might have done a better shark, I don't know. And then some of the scenes where they did some of the deaths, it'd be a combination of someone swimming in the water, a flash of blood, and then, like, these giant jaws that looked all meaty and bloody, and it was really effective how they did it, because it was done in a way that you just see teeth, and you see blood, and you see struggling, and they cut it and splice it so well that it's just expertly done. I actually really enjoyed Jaws the Revenge. We have Jaws 2. So after the success of Jaws 1, Universal wanted to make a quick buck, naturally, and they released Jaws 2. Now, Jaws 2 is actually pretty entertaining. It isn't my favorite, but they brought Roy Schneider back, Chief Brody, and this time he comes back with PTSD. He thinks that he sees sharks everywhere, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like a nice continuation, right? Like, we had Alien, then we had Aliens, right? Where they go back and, you know, kill the aliens on, you know, the planet LV-426. So it's kind of the same idea. You know, Chief Brody just went and smiled, USOB, boom, blew up a shark out of the water, and now he's kind of trying to, you know, get himself together, but now he's seeing sharks everywhere. Like, you know, he'll go into a diner and think he sees a shark and be like, oh, you know, it's just, he's ridiculous. You know, he's to the point that he's on edge. And, you know, Amity's trying to recover from the horrible, frightening situation they had. And of course the mayor's back, who's trying to be like, Amity's a safe place to be, even though the fact that, you know, they had a massive man-eating shark just, you know, 3 years before. Roy Scheider does a good job, but apparently there were some issues where he didn't want to be in the film. I guess he dropped out of Deer Hunter, and he owed Universal another film, part of his contract, and he wanted out of it so bad that sometimes when you're watching this film, it feels a little forced, his performance, considering how good of an actor he is. Like, specifically towards the end, he'd be like, come on, come on, come on! And it just doesn't feel genuine, as opposed to, we need a bigger boat, you know, when he did that in the first film. It just feels like he's kind of phoning it in, you know? But it is a really enjoyable scene, a really enjoyable film, and more specifically, there is a scene with the helicopter in the water, and I'll just say, it caught me off guard. I was like, whoa! Didn't expect that. It was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think that Jaws 2 really needs more love. I don't think it gets enough love, considering how good it was. I mean, it wasn't as good as Jaws 1, but it was pretty good. And guys, last but not least, here we are. I mean, you guys knew it was coming. The writing was on the wall. Jaws 1. I mean, what a masterclass in filmmaking from Steven Spielberg. I mean, you couldn't see the shark for about 95% of the film because it didn't work, yet it made such an effective, well-made film. And when you do see the shark, it's terrifying. Specifically when Brody's throwing chum over the boat, and he kind of looks and sees the giant shark in the water, and he's like, we're gonna need a bigger boat. And he just keeps stammering, we're gonna need a bigger boat, we're gonna need a bigger boat. I mean, Robert Shaw as Quinn does a fantastic job when he's telling his stories about being in the U.S. in Indianapolis. Richard Dreyfuss does a fantastic job as the marine biologist. I mean, it's a perfect film. It's rare to say that films are perfect. And if you watch my channel, you know I haven't said many films are perfect. But Jaws is a perfect film. Steven Spielberg did a fantastic job. And it's so funny when you think about the reason why it's such a well-made film is because of the fact that the shark didn't work. You know, and because a young film director, you know, decided to take a choice, an approach by not using the shark very much. Because he thought it was frustrating to work with. But he ended up making one of the most effective horror films to date. I mean, less is more, and when you finally see it, it's at the very end, and it's just so amazing. I mean, this film terrified me as a kid. I was afraid to swim in pools. I'd be swimming, and then I'd start thinking about a great white shark, and I'd start almost drowning because I couldn't swim right. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, put me in a pool at night and have something bump my leg, and it could just be, you know, a buoy on the floor, or you know, a little toy, whatever, or a toy ring toss underwater, and it will scare the crap out of me. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this countdown. Thank you for your support. All the Jaws films are on HBO Max, so check them out. But you can just go and skip, you know, Jaws 3D, because it's just awful. Like, it really is. But if you insist on sitting through it, you know, be sure to, you know, find another way to distract yourself. Play your guitar or something. Guys, I appreciate your support as always. I'll see you soon.